Happy Black History Month, and today I want to talk about Lois Alexander and Lois K. Alexander. I am going to read because I can't wing it off of my top of my head, but some stuff I do have. I was given pointers, but I ain't learned it yet. Miss Lois K. Alexander. Now, she was born in 1916 in Little Rock, Arkansas. And she was, as a child, Lois and her sister recreated clothing they had seen at white department stores. So they were seamstresses. They were sewing and they were creating. And I always think about the fact that whatever we weren't allowed as people of color to department stores to purchase fabric patterns or patterns that didn't fit because they weren't calibrated for all body types, etc., etc. There's a whole thesis on that. But if you look at so many old pictures of people of color, I mean, it's not like dresses are distorted, fit is bad. They look great. So I just think that they were tailoring geniuses at that time. So, the fact that she's copying, she's looking at something, she's not allowed in the store. She's not allowed to pick it apart. I know what that is. I've had to do that. So you go into the store and you look at the garment, you pick it up, you open up the jacket or whatever. This is sidebar. I had a client who said, go to Saks, go on the 3rd floor. There's a lace jacket that I want you to copy. I literally went and looked at it and I went like this, up and down. And I was able to get the gist of the jacket. My point is that here she was looking at something from the outside. It's not even like she could go in the store. She looked at it from the outside and they were copying these dresses. So anyway, she made clothing for mothers, siblings, dolls, etc., etc. So she was definitely, this creative that was so interested in art. Anyway, she earned a master's degree in fashion and merchandising at the New York University in 1963. Her thesis, the role of Negro retailing in New York City from 1863 to the present. So that would have been 1963. She was quite a lady, quite intelligent, etc., etc. Anyway, moving on, there's lots to know about Miss Alexander, but in 1965, she purchased a brownstone in Harlem. She purchased this brownstone in Harlem for $8,000, and that's when she founded the Harlem Institute of Fashion, 1966. And she offered courses in dressmaking, millinery, and tailoring. And the courses were free with only $10 registration fee. And she graduated 4,500 students by 1987. But then she also founded the National Association of Milliners, Dressmakers and Tailors in 1966. So she had quite a vision. For herself, for people around her, she had quite a vision. In 1979, she opened the Black Fashion Museum with a $20,000 grant from the National Endowment of the Arts. Now, we can fast forward to now and why all of these cuts are so detrimental and hurtful to so many communities. But that was in 1979, she opened that museum. Now, my little funny story about going up to the museum, I forgot what year it was, but I knew about the Fashion Museum. And, there had been a number of little reports that you might have seen on the news or something like that. So I'd heard about it. And one day, because I thought you could just walk in, you can't. So I went to the museum and rang the bell, knocked on the door, whatever way to get in. And the guy opened the door, he was like this. can I help you? I was like, yeah, I'm here to go to the museum. You had to make an appointment. So you youngins don't know, you had to call up. This is not like an internet or something like you had to call up and make an appointment, just, you know, like so. So I never actually got to inside to see the museum. And but what was interesting about it is that I can remember there were reports that she had a dress by that was made by Elizabeth Kelkley, who was the seamstress for Mary Todd Lincoln. And I think that, you know, it was so, and all the other things that might have been in that museum. From what I understand, the Smithsonian has since purchased the museum. So I'm gonna fast forward all over that. Y'all can do your own little research and stuff like that. Look her up. But one of the other things that I have is that I have this book that was written by Miss Alexander, and with Susan Taylor having made the forward or introduction or whatever. And I don't know how I acquired this book, because there is a dedication in here and it ain't to me. So wherever I found this book, somebody gave me the book, I don't know. But anyway, and if this book is available somewhere, I'll leave it in the link. But it's called Blacks in Fashion and History. And it's really about her experiences of the designers that she would meet across the way. So this video also highlights that in 1989, a woman, Aniva, wanted to make fundraiser, or whatever it was, to Miss Alexander. And there was this huge fashion show that she gave up at City College. And I was part of that. It was a collaboration of myself and Zenobia, a very good friend, and you know, I'm so honored to have linked up with her in like we're part of history that she and I. But the fashion show was quite a lot of other designers. Here I'll show Miss Alexander receiving an award from Aniva, and then you'll see the fashion show. Hope you enjoy this trip down memory lane of this fashion experience that I had back in the day. And you know, I'm quite honored because Aniva got my name right. Now a lot of people get it right, and for whatever reason. It was like this old-fashioned fashion show where you had all this talking and stuff like that during the, you know, as the models came out, along with music and stuff like that. Anyway, enjoy, and thanks so much for stopping by.
Here, first of all. Okay, I'm going to make this award on behalf of my brother David Dinkins, and I'd like to bring the Queen Mother out, Mrs. Lois Alexander, once again, ladies and gentlemen. This award comes from come over here, Ma. This award comes from the Manhattan Borough President, David Dinkins, and it reads, whereas Lois Alexander is a pioneer in the history of African fashions and design, has done extensive research in that field in order to illuminate the connection between the past and the present. Lois Alexander is also a pioneer in organizing African American men and women in the fashion industry, and in order to promote their unique talents and their works. And whereas the founder of the Harlem Institute of Fashion and the Black Fashion Museum demonstrates a deep commitment to recording and promoting the African contributions to modern culture. And whereas the Harlem Institute of Fashion sponsors shows, exhibits, and works to inform other designers of importance and worldwide influence of African fashion. And whereas Lois Alexander has spent most of her adult time on behalf of the Harlem community, doing everything in her power to provide Harlem residents and the African Americans with the dignity and the pride which they are entitled to. Whereas we are gathered here today with the members and guests of the Designers Network International as they bestow its Pioneer Award on Lois Alexander, I, David N. Dinkins, President of the Borough of Manhattan, in recognition of her insurmountable contributions to African American history and culture, hereby proclaim Friday, May 26, 1989 in the Borough of Manhattan as Lois Alexander Day.
All right.
I didn't know David could be so long-winded. But I do appreciate it so much. I think I'll save my remarks for a little later on because the sister who made the presentation, I've got a lot to tell you about her because this evening is one of the happiest moments, I think, in my whole life because now I can rest peacefully knowing that there's someone who's going to pick up the cudgel and carry on when I'm through.
All right. Yeah.
Mic up. My sisters, my brothers, my loved ones, I want you to share with me the experience of our culture. Let's turn the crown up because you and all of you wear the crown. And as you'll see exemplified with the finishing segment of the show, the designs that you gave fashion to the world in all expressions. Ladies and gentlemen, we like to begin the show with hand beating, an art that is a science that has been with us since the beginning of time. Cassandra Brumfield, ladies and gentlemen, in hand beating. These are the sciences that gave fashion to the universe. These beaded dresses with African women, beaded with the finest in jewels because we are the richest country in the world. Africa, the raw materials alone could captivate the world in monetary values, but we give it to you in fashion from Cassandra Brumfield. Ladies and gentlemen, these fashions from Cassandra Brumfield in beading and crowns by Zenobia. Let's go with the show because you are the first, the original. Do you know that every time you look into the mirror, that you should see an African because you are from Africa, as Cassandra Brumfield identifies here in Evening for Queens that know who they are. Birthright status, we captivate, we stimulate, we are the creators of fashion and beading in fine line and design done by Cassandra Brumfield and crowns by Queen Zenobia. Again, the flared pants that accentuate don't cause an evaluation to be made because we have the stimulating nature of creativity and the crowns are the what we wear. Beading by Cassandra Brumfield. Ladies and gentlemen, the spirit is with us tonight because you are with us tonight and you are the spirit of Mother Africa. Yes, come forth in. You see this crown she has on? Have you ever seen Africa in any finer design? Zenobia. Cynthia, come on up here now. I don't know where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, there is only us. We are all that we have. As soon as they cue that music, we're going to hit it again. But Cassandra Brumfield has got some surprises for you. And she does hand beating, ladies and gentlemen, such as what you see in front of you. Cassandra Brumfield.